In the history of the NFL, there have been plenty of memorable opening day games, and in this video, I'm going to talk about a long-forgotten gem among those, which included big defensive plays, a great rivalry, Jesus I can't talk, and a lot of drama. Welcome to the Vintage Realm channel, and this is the 1976 opening day thriller between Washington and New York. The Redskins were led by Hall of Fame coach George Allen along with his ancient quarterback Billy Kilmer, while the Giants were led by former Miami defensive coordinator Bill Arnsparger. Yeah, no, he was pretty good as a defensive coordinator. 72 Dolphins undefeated, yeah, you get it. Along with a new addition to his offensive backfield. More to him later. To begin the game, Bill Arnsparger's defense completely shut down the over-the-hill gang's newly acquired running back John Riggins, who had just signed with Washington the past offseason. Kilmer, finding no success with the ground game, tried to open up with the blue skies, but it met with disaster. But the Giants would not capitalize on this opportunity and give the ball back to Washington. And once the Redskins got the ball again, they would immediately fumble it back to the Giants at the 8-yard line. Newly acquired running back Larry Zonka couldn't punch it in, and the Giants had to kick a field goal for the 3 points and a 3-0 lead. Washington could not move the ball, and giving it right back to the Giants, Craig Morton would try to open up his passing game. But this pass was underthrown and intercepted by Ken Houston, who now would run right into Giant territory, and the Redskins caught the New York Giants defense lacking for good yardage. But a quick lock-in moment by Jim Stanky would save a touchdown, and the Redskins themselves would have to kick a field goal. The first quarter ended with a 3-3 tie. At the beginning of the second quarter, Craig Morton would immediately throw an interception straight to Pat Fisher, and Billy the Kid used Mike Thomas to gash the Giants for good short yardage gains. This Roy Jefferson reception kept the gang moving, and Billy Kilmer was getting hot as he spotted Mike Thomas open, and seemingly going in for a huge touchdown, he would fumble. George Allen, just like the cheerleader he always was, tried to give some words of encouragement to Mike Thomas as the first half came to a close. But within the few seconds left, Craig Morton, who had heavily faltered so far throughout the entire game, finally found some redemption off of this incredible 66-yard play to Ray Rhodes for a touchdown, giving the Giants a 10-3 lead at the half. Now with possession and the lead, the Giants would continue with their passing attack, but Craig Morton would immediately throw back to Jake Scott, who was now acquired from Miami and now a Redskin, for the interception. But this possession would go nowhere for the Redskins as they punted it right back to the Giants. But the Giants would have to continue off of their 4-yard line. Larry Zonka got zonked and lost 2 yards, and on third down, Craig Morton attempted to pass his way out of a sticky situation, but old man Ron McDonald tackled him for the safety. Down 10-5, the Redskins now woke up, and Frank Grant took a Billy Kilmer pass in for a touchdown. Now up 12-10, the Redskins kept getting hot, as Kilmer and the over-the-hill gang seemed to start up the smoke signals. But Kilmer was caught in a pickle and threw the ball away, leading to an intentional grounding penalty and a loss of a down. And to make matters worse, they immediately missed the following field goal. But running back Larry Zonka could not get it done, so Craig Morton stood his ground and kept passing, shaking off the pain off of these incredibly vicious hits. Craig began getting spicy as his vintage passes of Cowboys pass began finding their intended targets. But like Billy, the Giant drive would be stalled after a fumble and a loss of yards, plus another missed field goal. But with great haste, Craig Morton fired a 62-yard bomb to Walker Gillette to give the Giants a 17-12 lead in the fourth quarter. Down by 5, the Redskin offense took the field once more. Billy Kilmer had gained a reputation of being a tough old son of a gun, who had taken many vicious hits throughout his career that would have kept most men down. And on this next play, Billy Kilmer would prove that reputation spot on. Kilmer would have his nose completely cracked wide open, drenching him in blood, after these two giant defenders completely shattered his face, since he was only wearing the one-bar face mask. In these days of the NFL, there were no blue tents or locker room privacy, only for the worst of the worst. So he had his nose completely patched up on the bench for the entire world to see. They didn't have any specialized doctors. They had the trainer come in, help out. They had one of the players help out by... This would never happen in a modern day game. And after missing a series, Kilmer was ready to get back in there. Getting back on the field after a giant punt, Kilmer was ready to go. And with the heart and fury, he would proceed to go miss 2 passes. But that was no matter, because he hit Larry Brown for a good gain. And then Kilmer, now getting the hot streak, would miss another 3 straight passes. Now, 4th down, with the game on the line, Kilmer would spot Roy Jefferson open for the first down and a spot at the 5-yard line. Billy Kilmer calmly dropped back, spotted Mike Thomas, threw the game-winning touchdown within the last few seconds, stunning the New York Giants and RFK Stadium for the 19-17 win with no time left against the rival Giants with a broken nose, which seemingly put him out of the game, but he came back to do it. And in an incredible moment, lost to many people beyond the past few decades, ended off an incredible opening day win for George Allen and the Washington Redskins. It may have seemed that this was a slow, gritty type of game. That's exactly what the 1960s and 70s were all about. With the drama, the rivalry, the coaching, the big plays, the defensive plays, the interceptions, all that mixed together, and Billy Kilmer's incredible comeback from that vicious hit. This is one reason. There's many reasons why I absolutely love pro football from the 1970s. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. The channel's been doing pretty good lately. My TikTok's been doing all right, and I'm just really happy I'm finally talking about the one big niche I love, and that's 1960s and 70s football. And with more and more videos coming out, I'm hoping I'll just naturally get better at this. I struggle heavily with reading my scripts because I'm not that good of a talker, so I gotta low-key lock in on that. But other than that, thank you for watching, and please go outside.